Hi, thank you so much for watching this video. My name is Heidi Lurvy. I'm a sales director with Mary Kay. I am just going to tell you super quick about me. You're either watching this because you're on a Facebook party or you're at a real party with one of my consultants. So I really appreciate you taking the time to watch it. This is my dog Della. Apparently she doesn't want to be videotaped. But I'm going to tell you super quick about me, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about Mary Kay. Not because, I think that everybody should do Mary Kay, but maybe there's someone that you know that this could be really great for. Or maybe you yourself don't feel like you're being fully utilized to your potential. So I got started in Mary Kay about 3 years ago. I was working in a hospital in the Boston area doing breast cancer research, and I also was in a grad program for social work. So I really like helping people. So if you're in a helping people position right now, you can kind of feel my pain that when you help people, you don't always make a lot of money. And that's kind of where I was at. My boyfriend at the time and I had just bought a house, and I was looking to just create some extra income because we live in Massachusetts and owning a house in this state is very expensive. And so honestly, Mary Kay was never on my radar. I had tried it when I was 13, and I was kind of one of those girls that my mom used it, and I was like, that is awesome for you, not for me. And I kind of went back to like my Wet n Wild with like dark eyeliner. So I ended up in a Mary Kay party by total default. My brother's fiance had started selling it and asked me if I would come to her party, and she kind of called me saying that nobody was coming. And I felt bad, so I brought a friend, and we were literally the only two people there. So the girl that walked in had already replaced her income and, had earned a free car in Mary Kay and was kind of like a total hot mess. And so that was kind of my motivation for doing it. I was like, if she is kind of a hot mess and can do all of that, I can just make an extra $200 a month. Like, I can figure it out. So that's why I got started, just to make a little bit of extra money. I never saw myself doing this full time or anything like that. And then after I got started, I had a whole lot of life happen, and my boyfriend actually got diagnosed with stage 4 stomach cancer. And so I had to put Mary Kay on hold for a bit. We actually got Della at that point. And she was just a puppy back then, but that was kind of when I took a break from Mary Kay and was really just focusing on his care. And after about 4 months of doing alternative treatments and therapies and that kind of thing, he decided he wanted to do chemo. And so if any of you are kind of familiar with the Boston area, all of the hospitals are like in 1 mile radius. And so every day I went to work at Children's Hospital, and he was across the street at Dana-Farber getting chemo. And so after about a month, I just kind of felt like I was on the wrong side of the street day in and day out. I just felt really guilty because I knew it was stage 4, and so I wanted to be able to maximize and spend that time with him. And so I met with my director, and I was like, I know you do this full time. What would I have to do to be able to replace my income and go full time with Mary Kay, or just be able to replace part of my income and go part time at my job at work so I could spend that time with him? And so she literally just pulled out a piece of paper and started to write a little bit more about, what that would look like. And I think it was really cool for her to be able to do that, because you can't go to your boss right now and be like, hey, I need a $1,000 a month raise, for X, Y, and Z. Like, they're going to kind of laugh at you and be like, you need to figure that out. And so this was a great way for me to be able to make that extra income. So I just started to do a little bit more of what she wrote down, and then a couple months went by, and my boyfriend came home from his appointment that day and just kind of sat me down and was like, all right, Heidi, like, the appointment today didn't go the way we wanted it to. And at that point, they had taken him off the chemo. It wasn't going to work. And they gave him about 3 to 6 months to live, and he proposed to me. And that was honestly the last day I went to work. And it was not because I ever wanted to do Mary Kay full time, but as women, we make decisions based on money, right? And so I never wanted to have to make a decision that I would regret. So I was thankful to have Mary Kay on the back burner, because it literally gave me permission to leave my job and be able to stay home. Like, I'm originally from a, small town in Maine, and Maine is not really known as being a wealthy state. So I did not come from a wealthy family, and I had to make sure that if I was to leave my job, which was a secure income, I would be able to make the money I needed to make to afford our mortgage and the other bills that I had and responsibilities. And so I was really thankful that I did make that decision, though, because he ended up passing away 6 weeks later. It was really fast. I don't tell you this to make you feel bad or anything like that. We all have, different life happen, and cancer affects many of us in different ways. But after he passed away, it was like, all right, well, what do I do now? Like, do I go back to work? Do I go to school? Do I do this Mary Kay thing? And some things happened that put, my life in perspective. And one of those things was I had worked at this hospital for about 2 years, and everybody knew us and knew what we were going through. And I had one person come to his services. And I only got one card in the mail, and it was from HR. It wasn't from anyone I worked with. And the only phone call I got was them asking if I had, if I was planning on coming back or if they should replace my position. And I just didn't feel like I had a whole lot of support there. I was 25 at the time. It's not like I ever thought this would happen in my whole lifetime. But on the flip side, I'd been doing Mary Kay about 6 months, and I, had about 30 people from Mary Kay come to his services, and only one person had ever actually met him. I got a call from the vice president of our company from Dallas, Texas, personally sending his condolences, and just asking what they could do, on their end. And I honestly had about cards from all over the country in Mary Kay from different people who I'll never meet and I didn't know, but they just felt compelled to send me something and to reach out and let them know, or let me know that they were thinking of me. And so I was kind of like, I could wake up every day and go work for someone else who they decide when I get to work, how much I'm paid, when I get to take vacations. And at the end of the day, they don't really care about me or my future or my family. And, I'm just there to fill a position for a temporary amount of time. Or I could wake up and work with these people who do really care about me and they care about my future and they care about Della. And, and really be able to make my own income. And the worst thing that could happen is I just find a different job if it didn't work out, right? So I just dove into Mary Kay. I was like, I'm just going to give it a shot. And then the whole next year was readjusting. I had to, find a new place to live, start dating. I totally, am so thankful for the person that I'm with now. And, in that year, though, of leaving Children's Hospital, I had doubled my income after a year. I've actually earned 2 free Mary Kay cars at this point, which is awesome, right? Because I'm from Maine. So if you know anything about Maine, you probably know, or maybe you can relate to the car that I had before I had a brand new car. But, my car had seizures at stoplights and was always breaking down. It had a huge hole of rust in the trunk, and I was constantly worried about passing inspection every single year. And, so at this point, my job is really to help other people be successful. And we have a unit, about 100 girls, and we're actually going to be earning our pink Cadillac at the end of June, which is really exciting. It's our first pink Cadillac. And my position at this point is really helping other women in whatever sense that means, helping them feel great about the products, helping them build a successful business for their family, and just giving women options, really. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Mary Kay. This is my disclaimer. I am not here to say, you specifically should do Mary Kay, right? But like I said, maybe there's someone that this could be really great for. Or maybe, there's someone in transition. Maybe you're in transition. Maybe there's, just this opportunity you've been looking for, and you're like, this could be it. And so how we make money in Mary Kay is we profit 50% of everything we sell. It's the highest in direct selling. We don't have sales quotas, required hours, time commitments, territory. So you literally do as much or as little as you want, which for me was a big thing. I am a huge freedom and choice person. So essentially, I don't like to be told how much I have to do, when I have to do it by, quotas. That's just not for me. And I think that's probably why I like being my own boss. But, so that's kind of how the sales work, but it takes about 5 to 10 hours worth of work to profit $500, and you get to choose where you put that over the course of a month or a week or however long you want. You can definitely build a team, stream a second income, and earn cars and diamonds and trips, and that's kind of what I'm in the process of doing. But I love having a team because it not only streams a second income, but it potentially offers the opportunity to someone who might do way more with the opportunity than you are, and really change the circumstances for their family. The second thing that I totally love is the car program, right? So for me, the car program is a huge thing. So the great thing about the car program, though, is that you don't have to take a Mary Kay car. So if you love the car that you have, or maybe you've always wanted this one type of car, then you can actually take cash every month, and you don't have to take the car. The reason why I took the car is because they pay 85% of your car insurance. They pay the taxes, tags, registration, inspection. I never have seen an excise tax, and every 2 years you get a new one, and it's always under full warranty. And so that was kind of the big thing for me, is just having a reliable car. And so the great part is the first car is a Chevy Cruze. You can get it in white or red, or you can choose $375 cash per month. And honestly, that's more than most car payments. The second level of car you can earn as a director, and that car you can choose a Camry, an Equinox, or a BMW, and those are black. The first level is white or red, and if you don't want to choose any of those, they'll give you $500 cash a month. And then there's the pink Cadillac. I don't know if you've heard about pink Cadillacs, but Mary Kay gives away pink Cadillacs. So the cool thing about the Cadillac is if you don't want to take a Cadillac, they're going to give you $900 a month, right? So if you have a shoe problem, a shopping problem, a gambling problem, it's like problem solved with an extra $900, right? So The great part about this company, though, is when you earn a Cadillac and Mary Kay, it's a big deal. This is not one of those companies where you can just sign a bunch of people up and say, you know what, see you later, God bless, good luck, I hope this works out for you, right? You do have to help people be successful, and that's how you're successful. So nobody's ever fighting for positions or anything of that nature. So when you get a Cadillac, it's a red carpet affair, okay? There's a red carpet to your car. It's roped off in red robes. It's under a pink silk sheet, and they literally unveil the car for you. When they unveil it, balloons come out the sunroof. And then when you get in the car, they mount a plaque inside of it that says this Cadillac is custom designed and built for your name, right? So how awesome is that if you have children, for them to get into your car and be like, you know, my mom's name is on the dashboard of our car. You know, what did your mom have, right? Like, it's like bragging rights. But it just is a constant reminder of the work that you did to be able to get yourself there and all the people that you helped to get there. So that's my favorite part. But with the car program, if you have a Mary Kay car for about 7 years, you save an average of $100,000 in car payments, right? $100,000. That would like wipe my student debt out. And so the car program is definitely one of my favorites. And then every 2 years you get a new one. So that's the car plan. The other thing is taxes, okay? So tax season is here, whether you like it or not. But most people do this as a second business just to supplement income, right? So many people love their jobs. They just don't make the money that they need to make at the job that they're at, right? And so they use this to supplement. So if you're working a regular, 40-hour week or even part-time job, you can get about an additional $2,000 more back on your tax return because of all the deductions that you have in your business. So you can essentially deduct so many different things. There's about 127 legal tax deductions. So the deductions are great. And, there's so many things that is, beneficial for having a small business. The IRS is very, very good to small business owners. The other thing is that, flexibility is a huge thing for me. I totally love the flexibility that I have. My mom still lives in Maine. I live in Boston right now. And whenever she comes down from Maine, I can essentially, be able to adjust my schedule to fit when she's here. And I always take her to breakfast before she leaves. And then I block the time after she leaves so that, if she needed to give me a call or anything like that, I'm available. And then the other thing is we have charitable foundations that give back cash grants towards cancers that affect women, and then also to domestic violence and prevention programs for women and children. So those are very big ticket items too. I always tell people my favorite part about my job, okay? And you're going to laugh at me when you hear this, but my favorite part is I want you to think right now, okay? Maybe you love your job right now, but think to a time when you had a job that you were not particularly crazy about, okay? So we've all had jobs that we're not super excited about, right? So I want you to go back to that job. So when I have a bad day in Mary Kay, I literally never see those people again. And that is my favorite part. Because if you have a bad day at work, the last thing you want to do is wake up and go do it all over again. And I've been in positions where that has been awful. And so in this business, if you have a bad day or if you have a party that you're not super excited about, you don't have to do that again. Like, don't put yourself through it again. And so that's a great part. So it's like all freedom and choice, and you get to choose exactly what you do and you don't do. So that is like Mary Kay in a nutshell. I hope that is helpful. And I always say, the worst thing that happens is in Mary Kay is people get a starter kit. It's all of $100. It comes with about, 75% of what we show at parties, which is about $450 in retail size product. So it's what you would actually show at a party, and what we sell to customers. The worst thing that happens is you get a starter kit, you check it out, you write your starter kit off on your taxes, and for $100, like, we've made worse shoe mistakes or mistakes in Target or Walmart, right, where we've spent $100 on something that never changed our life. And so I always say, just give yourself a chance, right? Check it out. It's $100. Worst case scenario is it's not for you, and you get a really good deal on your products, and you at least say you tried, right? But I never thought that my starter kit would ever have the lifestyle that I needed, time that I lost with someone that I really needed to have at that point in my life, as well as free cars and trips and diamonds and a lifestyle for me and my boyfriend that I never thought would be possible. So even if it's totally not for you, give it some thought and share it on with a friend that you think that this would be really helpful for. All right? Thanks so much for listening.